Must pulls don't exist. Right? Yeah. That's it. That's the video. Peace out. Just kidding, just kidding. So, must pulls. Why do they not exist? Must pull is a buzzword thrown around the gacha space quite a lot to usually describe a character so strong in terms of their meta presence that you'd have to pull them because of how insanely valuable they are. And I think right now is a pretty good time to make a video about this. It's been a while since I made a video where my title was exactly something to do with must pulls, and also you have M-Blade and Robin SP, right? And people saying that these two are too strong, right? Robin SP nor Blade are must pulls. They are the highest value pull-wise in the entirety of the game currently, sure, but they are not must pulls. Must pulls usually implies that you pull this character and you must have them on your account in order to clear endgame content and as well for the future. However, this simply does not apply in HSR, especially these days when they have significantly more niche teams who might not even necessarily even care that much about Robin SP or M-Blade. Because I feel like something a lot of people fail to consider is even if Robin SP or M-Blade are slightly best in slot in some random ass team, that random ass team probably has some other vertical investment you would prefer to go into first, right? A great example of this is in today's stream. I did a bit of a short stream, and my chat were asking me a few questions. One person specifically came in, asked for pull value with Robin SP for a E2S0 Himiko. And I told them I wouldn't pull Robin SP, right? And it's like, oh, why? Himiko is a bit of an interesting situation where she's very much like a Phanon in my opinion. She can be easily buffed by generalists who are stronger as they release in the future. It's not that I'm saying I think Robin SP is going to get replaced anytime soon, however, that it isn't a stressed out type of situation where it's like, yeah, I need to get Robin SP right now on her first banner for my Himiko, and that's the most optimal investment, because it isn't, because the most optimal investment for an E2S0 Himiko in this case scenario, because he told me he had an E1 Nova Sparkle, is actually S1 Himiko, right? S1 Himiko is very, very strong. It is probably the strongest light cone in the entirety of the game if you use her on a team with other defense shredders, because the more defense shred you have, the much stronger it becomes, making the 32% defense shred that her light cone gives her become incredibly powerful. So when you pair her with, for example, Welt and even possibly another defense shredder, then you end up in a situation where her light cone's value is way, way higher than it looks usually at base. And so even though Robin SP is best in slot for Himiko, Robin SP isn't strong enough, I believe, at E0S0 to beat Sparkle by the same amount of Himiko's light cone providing value for the team. So in this case, it's actually better to prioritize the light cone, and then if you still think Robin SP is great for Himiko on her rerun, then you can go for it. There's absolutely no need to stress about pulling Robin SP to be a best in slot in Himiko's team when you already have a Himiko at such high investment early on, such as E2S0 with E1 Sparkle and likely someone else, right? On top of this, we don't yet know how Sunday Nova is going to turn out either. It is completely possible that even though Robin SP is best in slot as the third slot in Himiko teams, that Sunday Nova, if someone has him laying around on their account, could possibly surpass even that of Sparkle Nova with a reworked E1 as well. This would make him incredibly strong and even possibly a competitive or slightly stronger pull than Robin SP for your Himiko. On top of this, he is an Astral Express character, meaning he inherently has more synergy with Himiko than Robin SP does, who doesn't count as a Astral Express character. So that is why, in my opinion, must pull is nothing but a buzzword that is really thrown around a lot, and I've never really agreed with for quite a long time now. I've said this about Tribby, I believe like a year ago as well, when Tribby came out and she was the one dominating the meta as a generalist, being best in slot in almost every team in the game. I still said back then, do not fall for the FOMO of quote-unquote must pull, because 99% of the time, if not 100% of the time, there simply are no must pulls. Maybe in a game with some insane fucking power creep where if you don't pull the new character you legit don't clear, yeah, that's probably the 1% that I mentioned. However, that is not HSR. HSR has some pretty serious power creep and HP inflation. I don't try to defend it, but it's not to that extent where you must pull Robin SP in order for your teams to be able to clear at all. Right? Pull what you like and invest optimally to make what you like last as long as possible. Once again, don't fall for these buzzwords. I cannot say it enough. Robin SP is great value, yes, but she is not a must pull. She's not so valuable to the point where she is irreplaceable in every team in this game. This game has a ton of niche teams these days with Elation, Mono-Rem, and as well as Firefly and Dot. Of course, Dot is probably the one who's most falling off out of the 4 of these currently. However, they will probably get a buff later on as well, or they'll just get a new character sold to them in order to upgrade the team again, and then they're back in the meta again. And none of these guys actually have Robin SP as like a most optimal investment before some of their other investments like E1 Heislands and stuff like that. Certain investments can definitely outmatch actually pulling Robin SP for a specific team. Now, I will say Robin SP, if you are a completely new player to the game, that is where she has the absolute highest value, but still, again, not a must pull, right? Like, you can invest into multiple teams and not give a shit about Robin SP, put the investment somewhere else or on a different character. Even if her performs slightly worse, you'll get by completely fine, especially when we're talking about some of the new teams with their verticals, because they all have good E0 to E2 jumps, except maybe Ashvale, but technically Ashvale has E2 M-Blade to basically be that equivalent E0 E2 jump on the team. So at the end of the day, it works out either way. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you also get annoyed by this type of must pull thing, propaganda that gets spread around a lot? I really hate it. Maybe I'm just taking it too seriously. I'm taking it too literally. However, I really do feel like a lot of people do get misinformed when they see, oh, this character is a must pull. This character is best. Like, for example, best in slot in Mono-Rem. Yeah, she's best in slot in Mono-Rem. This doesn't mean you can't use your Siren or you can't use your Mono-Rem without Robin SP now, right? That's absolutely not what it means. It just means she's amazing for Mono-Rem, and she can even be an upgrade. However, that does not mean you need her. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.